rows, I think.
Oh my God. So you knew each other.
Hi there.
Glenn's here. I brought Glenn.
Oh, good. Oh, this lady.
Oh my gosh.
Volume 11.
You know what you want. Yeah.
Davey, you want to sit there or you want to sit with us? It's up to you.
It's fine. I didn't know where you were sitting.
Well, Tom and Chris saved all these seats.
Okay.
This is for Lois.
Right. Lois, reserved for Lois. This is my friend Star. Mark is visiting some friends of ours with Don and then more Kathy. This Star. Tom, I don't know where Chris is. This is my friend Star and this is Jim. Mark, Jim, Don, Jim. But well, we can meet after, at Chris and Tom's.
You're Cheryl.
Yes, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Star, Brian, and Cheryl. Busy, yeah, just doing errands all day. I went to the dentist this morning, and Dave's nephew is my dentist. And I had crown work, the prep
Any
work.
idea where you want to ride with?
In April, I used to talk to her to Mexico to visit my son, and then, one thing and another. My sister was visiting, as I told you, and so I had the appointment on Monday, but I forgot about it because that's the day I left, and I was, I just can't remember.
And then you had an appointment when Tyson had the baby.
Well, they rescheduled.
It's always father. She will always
He rescheduled my original.
You got them both.
So I went today. So I didn't end up having it done. They have to send it back. But that was kind of a wasted trip in a way. But anyhow, we got that done with him, and I ran a bunch of errands, and then I went to pick up Dave at the golf course, we ran some more errands, washed the car, we had a story. One thing after another, and the car is air conditioned.
Yeah. So now,
Yes, I'm Kathy.
she's the one that coordinated all the little house, the little restaurant.
Oh, the little red house. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was gutted last time I was there. You
Yeah.
started to put up some walls.
Probably in the closet. Oh, back there. You see where we came from?
And they got a house basically condemned. And got the owner to give it to them, and they redone the house, and now it's kind of a community.
That is weird. That is weird.
The college, the volunteer contribution. Kids from college nutrition program.
Yeah, he probably would. I'm sure she grew up in Florida. She's got another paycheck.
I assume it's a college student. Just by looking at his t-shirt. Key West.
All right, it's 7 o'clock, so we're going to get started here. How is everyone tonight?
Great.
Good. Thank you everyone for coming to our Pachakacha Volume 11 here at the library. My name's Sarah, and I'll be your host for this evening. We have a very exciting night ahead of us, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Pachakacha, it is a concept where there's 20 images shown, and each image is up for 20 seconds. And the presenter has a very concise, short amount of time to get their ideas across. And this was actually invented by Klein Deetham Architecture. And they came up with this format because they said architects spoke too much, and they wanted to limit the amount of time that they were giving their presentations. So we do have 5 presenters tonight that I want to introduce. If you want to stand up when I call your name, we have Michael Cox, Stephanie Chambers, John Mark Wiley, Debbie Rose, and Courtney Woodka. Okay, and just to give you an overview how the night will be, we will have our first 3 presenters come up, and then when they are all finished, we'll have a chance for the audience to ask questions. And then we will have a 10-minute intermission where you can go outside and enjoy some more food and drinks, and then we'll finish with our last 2, and you can again ask some more questions. So let's go ahead and get started with our first presenter, Michael.
Thank you, Sarah. And I'm going to try to pop this in here. I'm going to need my hands. All right. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Are we good?
Closer to your mouth for old people.
Oh, closer to my mouth. Okay.
I can hear you because I'm right here, but if I were back there,
All right, old folks. Is this good enough for you? Oh, did this start? Oh my goodness gracious. So this is me registering for the Key West conch blowing contest in 2014. 4 categories, youth, adult male, adult female, and group. They're judged on 4 criteria: quality of tone, loudness, duration, and novelty. Now this is a conch shell, not conch. You know, tourists make the rookie mistake of uttering conch. And don't do it because you'll be charged more. So just know that. And locals get the honor of being called conchs, and that's in reference to the Conch Republic. The Conch Republic is a humorist micronation which seceded from the U.S. on April 23rd, 1982, because of an actual U.S. Border Patrol set up a checkpoint just north of where US 1 continues south from the mainland. However, today it mainly refers to an island state of mind, the Conch Republic. The conch shell is a natural trumpet. Just bang off the end or bang a hole in the side, purse your lips, and blow. It has been around since Neolithic times and can be found around the globe, Europe, Tibet. Have you seen one before? In the 1500s, the Calusa Indians used conch shells as tools and for communication, and in the 1800s, a blast from the conch shell meant that a ship just sank offshore and that a salvage was underway. The price of salvage was 1/2 the cargo retrieved. So when a load of pianos was being salvaged, half the town took up the hobby. The sound of the conch shell was the sound of money in Key West. All right, this shell belonged to my father, who used it to win the annual conch blowing contest about 30 years ago when he was about the same age that I am today. Thanks, Dad. Next, I'm going to play a little milk conch. It's called a milk conch. All right, this is another shell I inherited from my father, and it's starting to feel like summertime out there. Oh, you're going to know this one. All right, something a little bit more classical. This is Clinton Curry. He is a seventh generation local conch, and he can play two shells at once. When I heard him play at the 50th annual conch blowing contest, he was playing tunes. I knew I had a lot of work to do. When I met him at the contest earlier this year, I was relieved to learn that he was not competing. However, his daughter won the youth division, and he gave me many tips, which I used. And let's see here. So the conch can more than honk. The conch shell really is musical. Consider Steve Turre. He's considered the most prolific trombone player of today. Over 225 albums in his discography. Plays with Saturday Night Live Band. He's got a whole album, Sanctified Shells. It's a jazz album. It is beautiful, entirely with percussion and shells, multiple people playing. You really got to check it out. It's an amazing album. Let's see here. So back to the contest. For the duration period portion of the contest, I had a secret weapon. I've been playing the didgeridoo, an Aboriginal Australian instrument, for some time, which utilizes the circular breathing technique. I'm going to play a short example of some circular breathing, and I'll vary the tone a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting. So, Pueblo, Colorado. It was about 100 million years ago that you were at the bottom of the ocean. So it really felt kind of like bringing it home when I got onto that plane in Key West to fly back to landlocked Colorado with the 2014 Men's Division Conch Shell Blowing Contest title. The same title that my father won about 26 years ago, only it took him 3 tries. All right, I'm going to finish up today I play with Pico, usually on First Fridays, usually here in the Mesa Junction. Try to find us some First Friday. I'm going to finish with a rousing tune played on a shell given to me by Clinton Curry while I was down in Key West earlier this year. All right, thank you, everyone.
There you go.
What a tough act to follow. Hi, thank you for letting me be here. I am Stephanie Chambers. I'm the Bike and Pedestrian Coordinator for the City of Pueblo. And I'm here to talk to you about a concept that you will be seeing rolling out soon called the Take 5 campaign. You see the K's walking and the 5 has a bicycle wheel in it, so, it's going to be a hint. So what does Take 5 mean to you? Does it mean the Take 5 candy bar, which is the 5 original ingredients in the candy bar? Chocolate, pretzels, caramel, nuts, which might be the peanut butter part, and all covered in gooey good stuff. Or does it mean Take 5 in any other capacity? A candy bar that's a fun-size candy bar, has about 100 calories in it. But did you know that if you walk for 5 minutes, you burn 26 calories? So if you want to eat one of these, you could walk 4 times a day for 5 minutes at a time, or for 20 minutes and burn off the candy bar. So Take 5 is a way to think of easy behaviors to work into your everyday living. Take a 5-minute walk, take 5 friends with you, go 5 miles, take 5 laps around the park. So you kind of get the idea. And it's not just about minutes, because there's all kinds of different levels. But taking even a 15-minute walk a day, especially if you're sedentary and you haven't done it, is going to be a benefit to your health. So you can make that really easy, 3 5-minute walks a day, 1 15-minute walk. You get the picture there. The idea of Take 5 is no more excuses. It's really easy for us to come up with excuses, isn't it? So what I want you to think about are things that you can do to squash the excuses. Let me give you a few examples in the next few slides. I'm too old. Meet Robert Marchland. He's 102 years old, and he was the first person to beat his own record. It was his record. At 102 years old, riding 16 miles for 1 hour in an indoor velodrome last January. I want to be him. Meet Kim Arline. She's in this room tonight. Loving wife, mother of 2 teenagers, pharmacy, bicycle advocate, chairperson of the PACE committee, and she found time to train and race and plays pretty darn good in the women's division of the Ironman triathlon. Meet Daisy, my dog. My Daisy might be too tired to walk, but that's my excuse, not hers, right? So if I take her for a walk, she's going to remind me day after day that it is time for me to take her. And yours will too, I promise. It's too cold. Pueblo hibernates in the winter. This is my husband. He was out in -6-degree weather last winter. He cycle commutes every day, almost every day, no matter what. He rode 1,100 miles in the first 100 days of January. You can do it. Dress for it, whether it's hot or cold. Give yourself time. You can do it. I can't. I'm disabled. I'd like you to meet Rob Jones. Rob Jones rode through Pueblo on the bike after relearning to ride a bike when he had both legs replaced that he lost fighting in the Marines. Took him 9 to 10 months to learn how to ride a bike, and then he was able to accomplish riding all the way from Maine to California. I'm too depressed. Well, walking's a really good way to build companionship with your friends. It's a good way to take an edge off anxiety. And if you're the kind of person who makes up excuses and you don't really make it out there, have them go to your door. When they're knocking on your door saying, let's go walk, it's kind of hard to say no, isn't it, when they're in your face? I'm too fat. We hear this a lot. I'll ride later when I lose weight. Meet Ernest Gagnon. He weighed 570 pounds. He decided, I'm going to cyclocross road race. So he did. He lost 260 pounds or something, got in the 300-pound range, and still rides today. If you hate going alone, there's all kinds of groups you can ride with in Pueblo. There's Walk with the Doc. Both hospitals sponsor at 2 different parks in town. We have the Social Shuffle on Wednesdays. There's Cruisin' Pueblo rides on Thursdays. All free casual rides available to anybody. You just don't want to? Either do I sometimes. But if you take 5 minutes and you go out anyway, you'll find you might end up riding or walking longer than 5 minutes. Change it up, change your route, go a different direction, hop, skip, jump, just get moving. I'll do it tomorrow. There's always tomorrow, we think, when it's something we don't want to do. So don't do that anymore. You don't need a spreadsheet. You don't need it on your calendar. You don't need special clothes and tools. Just take 5, whatever that means to you. Start doing it. Start it today. And those are my new shoes. Where can I bike or walk? Go to the PACE website. It's activepueblo.net. It's going to have maps on it. It's going to show you where you can ride in Pueblo, Pueblo West, the parks, tips on how to walk or bike to school or work, all kinds of great information, and a calendar of events. And if you're a challenge type of person, then you can join the National Bike Challenge. We already have over 32,000 miles ridden in Pueblo in the past month and a week, so that's really good. Contest goes through September. Not really a contest, it gives us data so we can put it in to try to improve infrastructure for bicycling and walking in the Pueblo area. You can also do events such as Bike to Work, which is Wednesday, June 25th. Maybe you don't work. That's okay. Your job is to walk or bike to a breakfast stop. We'll give you free breakfast. We'll give you some freebies, and it might motivate you to go a little bit longer, walk a little bit further that day. There's also a summer solstice walk, really nice walk coming up next Saturday evening along the levee, so check that out. It's on activepueblo.net under the calendars. So help move Pueblo forward. Take 5. Look for the logo, grab a friend. I challenge all of you to do something in the version of Take 5 this week. Be healthy and be happy. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, John Mark Wiley, am here to present to you the pros and cons of living in Pueblo, Colorado, or how I learned to stop worrying and love living in a black hole. I'm your presenter. My name is John Mark Wiley. I'll be your presenter tonight. Let's learn a little bit more about me. I'm 35. I'm 168 pounds. I'm 5'5". My favorite color is blue. My birthplace is Pueblo, Colorado. My hometown is Pueblo, Colorado. My current location is Pueblo, Colorado. My favorite Ninja Turtle is Raphael. And I went to Central High School. Go Wildcats. All right. The first pro of living in Pueblo, Colorado is the cost of living. 14% below the national average. We're second lowest in cities of 100,000 or more. It's really cheap to live here. That's a pro. A con of that, when you find as a young person who moves away from Pueblo and tries to move back, if you live in Pueblo, everywhere else becomes expensive. Seriously. They want $8,000 for an apartment in New York, you know? I pay $400. And that is the first black hole effect I want to talk about. You come back to Pueblo. Okay, Pueblo has over 300 days of sunshine a year, which fuels Solar Roast Coffee, which fuels the Pueblo Chili. The Pueblo Chili thus fuels Bingo Burger, Hungry Stoners, and our burgeoning marijuana industry. This has a con, though. People who live in high sun areas actually have a higher rate of seasonal affective disorder, and people who try to move to gloomy places after living in Pueblo get depressed and miss Pueblo and don't realize it's a vitamin D addiction. Look at this sad puppy. Okay, you will spend less time in your freaking car if you live your whole life in Pueblo, Colorado. Pueblo, Colorado, 49 minutes a day, over 77 years of your life, not even 3 years, versus Washington, D.C., 152 minutes a day, or 8 years of your life spent in traffic. So, but the con is, of course, we have so many potholes, we have so many dips, and we have this is 3rd Street, and the city repaired it with blacktop and cement instead of the original brick, which is a negative. Let's get caught up on my cards. Okay, you can drive a piece of crap car in Pueblo, Colorado. We have no emission standards. You don't need insurance. You don't need registration. You don't need a hood. Your bumper can drag, okay? But the con of this is, wait for it. You can drive a piece of shit car in Pueblo, Colorado. You don't need insurance. You don't need a hood. You don't need a windshield, and we don't have any emission standards. Oh. We really should get some emission standards in Pueblo, people. Come on, this was driving. Okay, Pueblo, Colorado is really close to a lot of amazing places. We're just 2 hours from the Great Sand Dunes, gorgeous. An hour away from Bishop's Castle and beautiful San Isabel. 2 hours away from Denver and an hour away from Garden of the Gods. So we have proximity to cool stuff in Pueblo, Colorado. The con of this, of course, is we're still in the middle of nowhere. Okay, can we just stop and talk about Hanson for a minute? Okay, everyone hated that Mbop song, but this is actually a really good album. I want to say Hanson's not that bad. Next slide. God bless Susan Fries and the Friday Night Art Walk. It's a beautiful thing. The best thing next Friday Night Art Walk is the 4th of July, the next one? I don't know. Yes. In any first Friday, go walk downtown. Free wine, free cheese, free beer, beautiful murals. Con, what if you're afraid of 30-foot bears? What if you're headed to Solaros and you're a little hungover from the night before and you don't know it's there? And like a normal that's kind of a scary bear. I'm sorry. Not to talk crap about Mike Stristino or Matthew Taylor, who are Pueblo's new mural artists who are making our town better, but that scared the crap out of me. Okay, the negative, we skipped one, I think. That's okay. Pueblo gives tax write-offs for keeping buildings vacant. We do this and we shouldn't. The city does that to preserve them, but unfortunately, okay. Who thinks Pueblo has a lot of bugs? What was the last bug you saw? It was a miller. Okay, yeah. What? Other than that, another reason people move away from Pueblo and come back, we actually live in an amazing region of bug-free. There's only 10,000 bugs for every person. We live in Region 6 up against Region 5. Down there in the tip of Florida, 100,000 bugs for every person. Or I'm not moving to Florida. Seriously, you move someplace else in any other region, you're going to notice that there's bugs crawling on the wall, and it's going to freak you out because you're from Pueblo and we don't have bugs crawling on the wall. Finally, I want to end on a pro. The Haunted Wind Chimes are from Pueblo, Colorado. We have beautiful music sing here. I love it. It's my hometown. Please come. I want to end on a positive note. Another pro, I want to no, not a con. This is my baby Angel. So she lives in Pueblo, Colorado. She's not as happy about the first photo. She's not happy there, but she's happy the second photo. That's at the Pueblo Dog Park or Pueblo Bark, and that's Angel. And on behalf of myself and Angel and all Puebloans everywhere, I just want to say thank you.
Now we're going to have a question session, so if the last three presenters want to come on up here, and anyone who has a question, raise their hand and I'll bring you the mic. Anybody? Questions? Yes.
Is Pueblo the third largest city in Colorado?
Is that for John?
Yes.
That was for you.
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that question at all. I don't know. Any other questions? This woman right here.
What can you tell me about the statues downtown that are being taken away? What is that called? Art and soul. Art and soul. It's going away. That really, I don't like that. Do you know anything about it?
Michael.
All I know is that some of the reasons for it going away is there's some insurance costs to have sculptures lying about downtown, and those were exceeding what they were bringing in revenue from selling sculptures. So maybe to save the program, we can go out and buy a bunch of sculptures from downtown. That may do it. Yeah, I know that some of them were local. I don't really know all of the stories, but that was one of the things that brought us to town. When I first came into town for an interview here, I loved seeing all the sculpture, and it made me realize that Pueblo is on top of it.
Do you have any comments about Pueblo politics?
Okay, so this is my 17 levels. No, Pueblo politics is just like politics anywhere. It's a little messy. It's a little messed up, and it gets better the more we get involved. And that goes for anywhere. That's not a Pueblo thing. Your government is exactly as corrupt as you are lazy. Like, I'm sorry, but like if we go there, if we research, if we get involved in city council, and again, whether you're Republican or Democrat, like I talked about it, emission standards is something everyone is going to have to eventually start talking about. You know, we have lower income, so we kind of want to like let people not have crappy cars that are polluting, but we need to get a little bit more on the wavelength of everyone else in the world. And, stop polluting.
Or we could walk and ride bikes.
Walk or ride bikes. Excellent. Anything else?
All right, well, we'll have a 10-minute intermission, go out and get some more food and drinks, and then we'll come back in and we'll have our last two presenters.
Okay.
It's easier to show.
I have taken classes there, but I was so yeah, tranny is better than grade. And so, no, we took line dancing. And the teacher said, her husband retired the next day. Oh, my word, the next day? The next day. And she was going, and she was teaching. Well, not yet. And she said, how do I get out of this funk? So she started line dancing. So she could do it on her own. And so then she started teaching line dancing. An excellent teacher. But Tom never learned which wall you dance from. That's the expression, right? When you take line dancing, you dance to a wall. Then you dance to the next wall. You dance to the next. It's the same step. Yeah, it's the same step, but you do it to one wall, then you do it to the second. And Tom never got which wall we were on.
They went the wrong way.
Well, you know this, it's hard to like. If I had known
Yeah, they like 24 hours a day. I never
The very same symbol. And I thought it was so simple for him. Well, left-handed, I don't know. Otherwise, he's extremely intelligent.
They call it, it's in the Arctic Ocean, but they call it some sea.
Volunteer. You volunteer. And after you come to one of these, and they're very creative. Yes, yes.
You're stuck. You're the official chair saver.
So how have you been? I haven't talked with you forever since the school district. Yes. How's life been treating you? Good. You're looking wonderful. I was too.
I went in there, I don't know if that would, I actually went in there twice. Year. My friends were West. My daughter got a job in Williams Park. She moved up there. They had to take the media. Catch up. There. Something's wrong with just a second. Telling them that.
No.
Well, I even went in there, this one school district down the valley. Knowing they couldn't win it, immediately passed legislation to bring their school state expense because they wouldn't fund them. But they didn't change the funding. They still sure they got a new building.
Yeah, that doesn't.
It doesn't help the kids get educated. The problem is, people at the state passed the law to increase it, and they figured out a way around it, and still didn't fund it. So we're still right back to the still uneven. People sued the state because they were being educated unequally. The judge came in and said, you will fund every school equally. What does Colorado do? Every damn one of them's unequal.
Correct. You get different funding per student.
Kansas City in the summer.
Quite like it. Why aren't I get it equal? Why aren't the people?
Yeah.
You know, if anybody would get up a thing, because you gotta have a lawyer willing to pro bono.
Oh, that's true.
Would chip in, it'd happen.
There is a suit right now played that where they told lower court said their state had to change the component.
We're standing out there having those snacks out there. Yeah, so we're standing out there and we're gonna have a.
No, I think that's the next. That's the next. So.
Nobody's gonna complain.
San Antonio was okay. They like that. They like the river wash. And they like the fish. You got the golf. They like that.
You got it. Everything in between. Bingo.
Where on that mountain?
They changed the law on the road. Stuff. The right legislation backwards. You had to vote no to mean yes.
Yeah, I know.
And they were so getting much trickery. They passed a law stopping that. So you can't do that.
No.
Bill that's written up that they canceled because of that. Somebody took it to court all the way. Okay.
The language.
And yet they send me this guaranteed diploma. What is that? She's already up there. I ain't gonna send her back here to redo this. And I had to redo it. Gotta move forward. Something we group on.
Good to see you.
I'm
drawing them out.
Oh, you're gone. I've never heard it. Right.
Is the exit called geriatric? You know, after the mark.
Stand
Hold it up to your ears.
in the motion. They're parked right next to us.
I know, hold it up to your ears.
It's pretty easy. Drive slow.
I guess we can't sit over too far because they're theirs and because the light is nothing.
And then left on Mombella. And right on. It swings around. I know you do.
Debbie, come on.
See if I can take this out without, okay. I am. Friday the 13th, you know what? I am the luckiest person here. I get the opportunity to come here and talk to you about coming together to do great things. I've been so lucky in all the boards that I have served on. That has been a theme of those boards, is how to come together to do those great things. So I'm going to be talking about co-ops, but you probably didn't know that Ace Hardware, Welch's, Land of Lakes, and Scary Cow Productions are all co-ops. They come together to do great things. There's a few others. Ocean Spray, Associate Grocers, and True Valley Hardware. So a lot of different organizations have figured out that co-op is the way to do business. And co-ops, the way that we do it today with 7 principles, was actually started by Rokedale Society of Equitable Pioneers in 1844. They put together 7 principles of cooperatives. So those cooperative principles are voluntary and open membership, number 1. Number 2, Democrat member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. 7 great ways to come together. So guess what? There is a very special cooperative that's located in Pueblo West. I serve on the board, and that is San Isabel Electric. I've had the honor of serving on San Isabel for 8 years, and it's truly an honor because I'm very lucky because staff, of which Ashley Valdez is here tonight, she helped put together this presentation. So we are going to talk a little bit about history. FDR, president, Depression, very bad things were happening out in rural Colorado, rural areas. People needed to have some hope and figure out how to get out of the depression in the rural area. So he brought forward the REA, and then San Isabel in Beulah, and that's where I live, 300 farmers and ranchers, with the help of an extension agent, came together and they each put in their hard-earned money, got a loan from the government, and San Isabel was born. So I want to talk about those 75 years that San Isabel has doing a great job keeping the lights on and improving the life of our citizens by following the cooperative principles. So that volunteer and open membership, you pay a deposit, you become a member. And it doesn't matter your economics, doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter your race. You are part of the cooperative. You own the cooperative. So that volunteer and open membership. Democrat member control. Everybody, doesn't matter how big your bill is, you get one vote. One vote. And that one vote elects the person who's your voice at the board table. I'm very fortunate to be that person for the Beulah, Wetmore, and a southern part of Pueblo County representing at the board. The members' economic participation. Now, we really want everyone to go away with this today, that we do, charge to keep our business going, but at the end of the year, we hope there's a little bit left over, and that is the members' money. That's the margin. It's called capital credits. Autonomy and independence. That means if we make an agreement with another company, we borrow money, it still makes sure that it's democratically controlled. That can never go away. Our members have the bylaws that they've put in place to make sure that we do that. There's education, training, and information. So we have a magazine that we hope our members all enjoy. It's always to inform on what's happening at the state, national level. We send our kids for tours. We go to the mall and send out information. And then I love this one, the cooperation among cooperatives. What I found out, the very first thing is that everybody that we work with is a cooperative. CRA, I sit also on that board, is cooperatives coming together. Tri-State is a cooperative generation, and so we also go together and support activities that are benefit to our community. And this is this energy Touchstone Energy Cooperative Junior Livestock Cell, along with coming together several states for kids to learn about cooperative business. So we really try to put into play what we believe strongly. We have a concern for community. So from those capital credits, if somebody doesn't claim their capital credits, we will use those funds to support in our community. Here, we had an energy rebate, we had a donation to Crime Stoppers, so things that are important for you that improve the quality of life, we will give donations out of those capital credits funds. So health, and of course for us in the rural part, that fire protection is really key. So when you put all those pieces together, what do you get? Those 7 cooperative principles. You get what doing together. The cooperatives is a business model that people trust. I mean, how many really believe when the Ocean Spray guy says, we're not going to put sugar in your Ocean Spray juice, that's what they're doing. We trust them. But cooperatives equal people doing great things together. And so again, I am so very lucky tonight to be able to talk about all of the boards that I've been part of that have done great things together and be able to present this to you. Thank you. Yeah, okay, I don't. Just didn't want to.
Hi, my name is Courtney Woodka, and I'm here tonight to talk to you about something I personally find very Pinteresting and pin addicting. That's right, Pinterest, the world's most addictive webpage ever. So without further ado, my name is Courtney, and I am a Pinterest addict. Hi. If you give a girl Pinterest, she's probably going to think it's better than a marriage proposal. She'll be so enticed by the thought of placing all things she's ever thought for her wedding day all in one place that when the actual marriage proposal does come, she'll have everything pinned out the whole wedding, and well, more about that later. let's see, if you give a girl a Pinterest, she'll probably want to find out more about it. So she'll decide to do some research. When she does that research, she'll find out that Pinterest was founded in 2009 by two 29-year-old males, Ben Silberman and Evan Sharp, who probably created the site to get their girlfriends off their back about marriage. The site launched publicly in March of 2010. After doing her research, she'll find out Pinterest is a visual discovery tool and social networking application. It's a visual bulletin board where people can go to collect images of different things they find interesting, such as crafts, recipes, quotes, all of which are the most popular pins. Link to them, and let's see, she'll decide to set up an account. When she sets up the account, she'll find that she can set up her page multiple ways. Through a referral from a friend already on Pinterest, through an email account or Facebook account, and she'll find out that Pinterest is the third most visited site behind Facebook and Twitter. So who is this Pinterest girl? The average Pinterest girl makes up about 80% of the pinning community. Her average age is between the ages of 25 and 34. Her average occupation varies from designer to student, mother, teacher, or blogger. So she'll probably want to add a profile picture and a short bio about herself on her Pinterest board. And when she's through with this, she'll probably be ready to start pinning. As you can see, I am excited to be here tonight. Yay! When she is ready to pin, she will find that she can search by predetermined topic, type in an item, or repin from a friend's page. Those pins have to go somewhere, so she'll probably need to create a board. She probably won't realize it's 3 a.m. and she's been on Pinterest since 7 p.m. the previous day. So she'll find out the average pinner spends only 15 minutes per day on the site. When she starts creating her board, she'll also be able to like pictures. This will come in handy when she realizes that Pinterest staff has set limits on boards, and she can only have 500 boards, 200,000 pins, 100,000 likes. The average Pinterest account has 2,700 pins and 34 boards. For the above average Pinterest addict, this means she might have to create another profile. So, what are some of the popular boards on Pinterest? Remember what I mentioned earlier, weddings? With Pinterest, you can save money on a wedding planner. A wedding board on Pinterest has a variety of pins linking to a number of sites. Many businesses, Etsy being the top one, have seen increase in their sales because of Pinterest. Another popular board is the do-it-yourself craft board, popular for mamas who want to keep their little ones entertained. And many of the crafts pinned are super simple and can be made by even the uncraftiest of people. Let's see. Recipes are another frequented Pinterest board. Some of the top recipes based off number of times repinned include chocolate chip cookies, Oreo layered desserts, raspberry lemonade, fruit popsicles, summer sangria, frozen yogurt pops, strawberry mojitos. Another popular board is the inspirational quotes. Many of the boards or quotes are about faith, fitness, friends, happiness, marriage, and love, and occasionally there will be quotes to remind the girl that she has a Pinterest addiction. Other boards include fashion, photography, and various products. Businesses these days are utilizing the popularity of Pinterest to reach a broader community base, and some offer Pinterest-only contests to get items sold in their stores. Pinterest boards are shareable with colleagues and friends, allowing multiple people to be able to share ideas together without even having to speak a word to each other, and they don't even have to be in the same geographical area. Occasionally, if you give a girl an idea on Pinterest, sometimes the pinspiration can become a pin fail. So the list is endless, from photo recreations to recipes. Sometimes it just doesn't come out the way it looks like on Pinterest. So do any of you own an iPad or an iPhone? More than 50% of those who own an iPad or iPhone have Pinterest as their top visited area. Pinterest is the top channel for iPad, and that means more people are using their phones to pin items to Pinterest. To date, there are over 70 million active users on Pinterest. Many Pinterest pages can have followers, the people that can follow and like a board on your page, and the majority of followers have never even met. Interestingly enough, the average pinner on Pinterest has a household income of $100,000 plus. Do you think they are pinning about champagne wishes and caviar dreams? So, in conclusion, if you give a girl Pinterest, she'll probably want to present about her Pinterest obsession, not addiction, at Pachakacha, and hopefully she'll have inspired some of you to join Pinterest and get pinning yourself. Thank you. Okay, we'll do another round of questions.
In developing your Pinterest, did you want to tell the name of the story of the book you got the idea from?
Yeah. So I have an 8-year-old little boy, and one of the books that we always read all the time is If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. So that is where I got my inspiration to do this project.
Debbie, in your presentation, you mentioned capital credits and that co-ops are different, but you didn't get to spend a lot of time on it. Can you elaborate?
I think everyone's familiar with a business model that you bring in the money that you think is going to cover your expenses, and then at the end of the year, that's going to be your profit. Well, with co-ops, it's not a profit, it's called a margin. And those margins go back to our members, and they go back in the percentage that your bill was. So what we do is those margins go back, and there's a delay of them coming back to you. They may come back to you within 10, 15 years, 20 years, depending on the co-op and the finance. But we call those capital credits because they go back to you. They are capital, they are money that returns to our members because we didn't need it for that operation for that year. It's important that you tweak your budget as close as possible, but you want to make sure that if you get a snowstorm or if something happens that could add to your costs for that year, that you have that in play, and that's why it's going to be returned to the members, because we didn't need it, and that is as the owner of the company, which you are as a cooperative, you get those funds back.
Transferable.
They will go as far as, so if somebody dies in the like if it's the name is in a person, a husband and wife, and it's in the husband's name, but he passes on, then it will be changed over. You just have to do the paperwork to the wife.
And heirs?
Those, if, we are actually working on a process presently that would hopefully take care of some of the deaths in the family and with the heirs.
I just have a comment about pinning. Since I've been retired, I spend a lot of time on Pinterest, and I get so many recipes. We never have anything duplicate to eat at our house. And I was so excited when I got 5 followers. I told my husband, I've got 5 people following me.
Hi, this question's for Debbie. I'm curious if there's ever been a company that switched over to a cooperative that wasn't originally.
There have been cooperatives that actually have bought out systems, so like a city had their own, and we did it for Walsenburg. The city had their infrastructure was aging, and the citizens said, this is not meeting our needs. We're having power outages, so could we look at it? And so a cooperative can go in and buy the assets, and then that system would become part of the cooperative. There are in other states, similar things have happened where a large system was going bankrupt, and two cooperatives came together and purchased the assets, and then the citizens went on into becoming a cooperative, and they became the members of that.
I'd like to ask who and what kind of people are sitting on your board. Are they everyday individuals in the community?
Each area will vote for their elected officials, and we have their elected members. There's 7 for San Isabel Electric. I am District 1. I own the store in Beulah and have been very active in the region, and so hopefully you consider me just a normal person, because I really try to make sure that I'm available. I'm there for my members. They can come to the store, and if they have an issue or concern, I'm reachable, touchable, so I can carry that to the board. We have other individuals from throughout the region. We go all the way from Pueblo to the New Mexico border. And so Jackie Sykes, who's from the Walsenburg area, she's an insurance agent. We have Ray Garcia, who's a rancher in the Walsenburg-Ruffino County area. Jack Johnston is the manager of the Pueblo West Metro, but he also sits on our board. But he's held different jobs within Pueblo County, so brings sort of that sense of Pueblo County. Joseph Costa, who's sort of the further south area, he is also a rancher, had been a trucker, prior to that, and he drives a school bus too now. So I would say that our board really is a diverse mix. We also have Dennis Maroney, who's from the Rye, Colorado City area. He's retired from the city as an engineer, but he, brings that perspective. So we're all different, but I think that we all have the same drive and desire to make the best possible decisions for our members, because we're members too. So whatever decisions that we make are going to be impacting us also. So we have to look at what is in the best interest to make sure that the company, the San Isabel survives, so that we can keep the lights on and keep them affordable, but bring to the table what our experiences are, and then what our members are sharing with us.
Thanks, Debbie. Do you know how the rates compare to other area for-profit, private industry, energy sources, companies?
That is one of the things that we track every year. That is, the focus of the board is to really look at what those rates are. We hadn't raised our rates for 4 years, and we were less than Black Hills during that time. Our power supplier, Tri-State, did tweak their rates, and so we needed to raise our rates. So now we're just a little bit above Black Hills again. But our goal for the board is to be affordable for our area, and to be sort of that middle range, to make sure, because we aren't very dense. And when you don't have density, when you're running a line and somebody lives 2 miles down on that line, that adds a little more expense. But we understand the economics of the people who live in our region, and they need to have the power to be as affordable as possible. But we also have to keep in mind some of the state and federal mandates that come in play for electric companies. So, we are really looking at every way that we can economize with the operation to make sure that we can keep those rates as affordable as possible. I don't know who's... Yeah.
Do you do any wind or solar generation?
Actually, if you drive I-25 going south, you will see 4 windmills right at the Werfenau County line. That is a relationship with our power supplier, Tri-State. They purchase the power that comes from that, but we help to coordinate putting that together. It was a substation that was there that was underutilized, and it was just the right fit to put 4 wind towers there. We worked with that company and with Tri-State so that we could put that in place. Tri-State, who is our power supplier, also has wind generation that they use. So that, of course, would be part of our system in the wind. And then we do have members that are within our system that have solar. So we have contracts and work with them on that.
This is for Courtney. I would like to say that her projects do not fall under that fail, the Pinterest fail. She did a minion thing at Valentine's Day, and as a coworker, we get to benefit from her crafting capabilities from Pinterest. But I'd like to ask Courtney, do you have a favorite project that you found on Pinterest and put into action?
Oh my gosh, favorite project. I'll tell you this, before I got the job here as the marketing coordinator of the Rawlings Library and all the other libraries, I did do volunteer work for MOPS, which is Mothers of Preschoolers, and I was their kid craft person. So Pinterest was a really big help there. I got a lot of my ideas for this group. It's 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds. So these crafts that I found on Pinterest, they could do. For teacher gifts, I did a flower pot and made it look like an apple. You just turn the tray, or I guess what sits on the tray, and just flip it over and then add some pipe cleaners and some fake flower leaves and spray paint it red. So I guess I don't really have a favorite. I just have too many favorites, I guess, so I don't have enough time to do everything. And same thing like this lady said with the recipes. I have a lot of recipes, but I don't cook, but they all look really good in the picture.
Is that an acronym for something, or what is that mean?
What is Pinterest, the name for it? I'm not really sure. I think it derives from pinning your interest, like I heard out there in the thing. So the icon that's most noticeable is it looks like a red thumbtack. So if you go and you Google it, it'll tell you a lot more about it. I'm not the expert when it comes to that, though. Thanks.
Well, and I would just add, I attended a social media they were looking at different ways to involve our members, throughout, not only with Facebook and Twitter, but Pinterest is one of the areas that cooperatives are thinking about of how to connect with their members. So it is an up-and-coming medium, but you can just go to Google and put in Pinterest and it'll pop up for you.
And I will add, before I came up here, I did count how many boards I have. I have 57 boards and over 5,000 pins, so I'm very proud of that. I'm the above average pinner. So. Any other questions for myself or Debbie?
Is San Isabel a distribution company or a supply company? Do you supply the energy?
No.
Do you produce the energy, or you just distribute it?
We are distribution.
Okay.
Yes. So that's why even with our wind generation that we had, that goes into our substation, and it will go along our distribution lines, but the arrangement is with Tri-State. They are the generator. As far as that's 44 cooperatives coming together to be able to build the power plants that you need for the distribution.
When you have a cooperative and someone does not have enough money to pay their bill, what is your rehooking policy?
I can't give you the exact amount of money, but we have wonderful staff with San Isabel Electric. We will connect those individuals to organizations, funds that would assist them to be able to keep their lights on. We also make arrangements that they can pay over time if they get behind. They just have to fulfill those agreements. So we work very, very hard to keep their lights on and work with them. There is a statewide organization that we work with that we specifically say that they are to help the members in our area, so that it's a last resort to turning that power off. There is a procedure and a process, but staff generally works with that. But as a board, we want to make sure that they stay connected.
So Debbie, do you see a future of cooperatives growing here in Pueblo, and do you see that going into other industries, and do you see a connection between that and our community becoming more sustainable?
I think you are seeing a rise in cooperatives, just as far as people looking at the cost of business and how to get new things started. And so I think a cooperative is a good way to move forward with that. As far as for cooperatives with the utility business, you have to have a willing seller in order for that to be changed. So if there's not a willing seller, then you're not going to change your utility probably provider, with that. But it really, the fact that people coming together, there's food cooperatives here. People buy bulk food together, and our, cooperatives. There's some recycling pieces that they do. So I think you see more and more of that increasing just because of what the cost is to do business. Okay. Well, thank you.
Any more questions? No? All right, well, let's give a round of applause to all of our 5 presenters tonight. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming and for your participation. Who wants to be a presenter at our next one? Anybody? Well, we have a sign-up sheet if you would like to be a presenter or know anyone that would be interested in the lobby. And thank you everyone for coming. Our next one will be sometime in October, so keep a lookout for us, and thank you for coming. That's what everyone's saying. It's Pachakacha.
Pachakacha.
Yeah, it took me. I know it took me forever to realize how to say it, but it's Japanese.
I know. I looked it up
Okay,
because
yeah.
I'd never heard.